future.
You've been decrying President Trump's bigotry. Obviously, you used to follow somebody who continually expressed sexist, anti-LGBTQ, and anti-Semitic bigotry, Louis Farrakhan. You have condemned Farrakhan's bigotry.
But I would disagree with that. I would disagree with that, sir. But I'm sorry.
What are you disagreeing with?
That comes up in this context.
Well, you're decrying bigotry, and Louis Farrakhan is a pretty clear bigot.
Right, and I agree that that's true, and I think that I've made myself very clear. But look, that's going back to the false equivalency. You know, I don't have any support for what the individual you just mentioned stands for, nor do I agree with Trump's bigotry either. But that again, you know, anytime somebody tries to say that something is unfair and bigoted, if you're going to say, well, one time you sort of said something or somebody said you said something, and then so nobody
you were a follower of
bigotry.
You were a follower of Farrakhan, sir.
No, I wasn't. Jake, I'm sorry. That's not true, Jake. But I just want to say to you, if anyone who raises concerns about bigotry then is put in a position to have to defend themselves, then we never get to talk about bigotry. And I hope that's not what your purpose is, Jake, because you've stood for an equal society. But if you're going to try to put me on the spot and have to explain myself, I didn't pass a Muslim ban. I didn't, right,
no,
Jake?
you didn't.
This is not my piece of my.
You didn't let me
answer.
you didn't let me ask my question. My question was: the Washington Post fact checker in March gave you 4 Pinocchios for your claim that you have no relationship with him, and I want you to take a listen to Farrakhan talking in an interview.
That's wrong.
About how you only.
That's not true.
And Farrakhan, the Washington Post fact checker, did give you 4 Pinocchios
Jake,
about that. That's just true.
Jake, they were wrong. Jake,
they were
Jake,
wrong.
I have not. It's untrue, Jake. I'm sorry, and you know, I'm disappointed that's why you called me on your show today.
I didn't.
You know, because
that's not why I called you on the show.
The Supreme Court,
yes,
Jake, the Supreme Court has ruled that the president's ban on Muslims and Muslim countries, and which started in his campaign rhetoric, that is okay. And now, Jake, you want me to have to justify myself based on facts that were not true and were always political. And so that's a shame, Jake, because we can't have a real conversation.
It is a real conversation.
We can't have a conversation about bigotry because you're going to say, well, what about you? Did you ever in any way and anyone know or see anybody who was ever bigoted, and therefore you have no moral standing to claim to decry bigotry? Jake, that's just not true.
I'm not saying that at all.
And I'm sorry we're having this conversation.
Well, the question I had about Farrakhan,
I came on here to talk about the Muslim ban.
I understand that. The question I had for you.
And now you're trying to put me on the spot. It's not fair.
The question I had for you that I've been trying to ask is, Farrakhan said in 2016 you met with him in his hotel suite in Washington, D.C.
That is a false. That did not happen.
It did not happen.
I have
so
made that very clear. That is untrue. I don't know if he's lying or not. I can tell you, I was in no such meeting. I was in no such meeting. I've made that clear. You know that, Jake. I have denied this because it's not true. But here I am on your show having to talk about this when the Supreme Court just upheld what the president said was a Muslim ban from the very beginning. And so now I have to defend myself when that's not what the context of this discussion is about at all, Jake.
It was just a question I wanted to ask.
No, I was in no such meeting.
You were, okay. Well, Jake, so Farrakhan's lying about it. That's fine. If you're telling me that Farrakhan is lying,
look.
That's all I wanted to know.
Maybe he is, but I can tell you this, Jake. I can tell you I was not in a meeting. What somebody's subjective intent was, I will not speculate. I can tell you I was never in any such meeting as that. It's not true.
Okay.
It's simply not true.
I wanted to get you on the record about it, and that's all.
And I wrote about this. And I wrote about this months ago, Jake.
In 2017.
And I think you know that.
You wrote about it in the Washington Post.
No, I was not. I was not in any such meeting with that individual. I simply wasn't.
Okay.
And you say lying? I don't know. I mean, I wasn't in the meeting. I can tell you that.
He says that you and Congressman Carson met with him in the suite in his when he came to visit. You're saying it's not true. I will take you at your word. I certainly believe you more than I believe Louis Farrakhan. Okay. The Washington Post.
Well, I hope so, but Jake, this is not the first time I've denied this, and I think you know that.
Congressman, it was just a question. You were talking quite a bit about the bigotry, in your view, of President Trump, the bigotry, in your view, of this travel ban. I thought it was worth asking about somebody, a bigot, with whom you used to associate, though you have distanced yourself and condemned him since.
Jake, I worked on the Million Man March, and I was proud to do so. That's it.
All right, Congressman. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.